Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming, and so on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Wayfinder. So y'all, before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now up for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! Oh yeah, I wanted to tell y'all, apparently the, developer of the game added a little special thing. I think it's in the latest version. Yeah, it's in the latest version. If you type in your character's name as Drakewing or Gaming Dragon, yeah, Drakewing or Gaming Dragon, you'll get like a special message and a special special text color for your character. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Arkyn's mother turns toward me and smiles, her eyes looking in my direction, yet not looking at me, focusing on removing something from a pan first. "Oh, no, dear, you're our guest. Please make yourself comfortable." Her voice is gentle and warm. I sense a bit of an accent I can't place. The same as Arkyn's. It's like it's almost Swedish, but with a bit of Scottish as well. "Oh, ma'am, please, I insist." She chuckles, and after she finishes what she's doing, her eyes meet mine at last. She shakes her head and places her hands on her hips. "Arkyn's friends are always too polite. How am I supposed to host if you host you if you help with the hosting?" I suppose she has me there. I nod with a smirk and concede. "You're right, of course. I'll just wait out of the way." She smiles and leans in to whisper something to Arkyn after I turn away. Something I only see because of a mirror angled in a particular way on the side of the room. I smile and sit in a cozy armchair in the living room, waiting for everyone to be ready to sit at the table. I look around the place while seated. It's an overwhelmingly cozy abode. I can tell it's well lived in, with a good number of books, plants, seats, tables with decor that brighten up each corner, and so much natural light. I suppose they use magic for the upkeep, but even still, after a few moments, Rolf comes to me and tugs my shirt gently, getting my attention. "Fynn, breakfast is ready, come eat! And Mom's breakfast is the best!" The excitable wolf boy runs over to the dining room, and I get up to follow. I take the only empty chair, and I'm sitting between Arkyn and his mother. Arkyn takes the opportunity to officially introduce us. "Mom, this is Fynn, as he said earlier. He's the finder I was sent to hunt for as a candidate." I nervously wave and smile at her as she warmly returns it. "Nice to finally meet you. Arkyn has actually made me excited to do so. He loves you a lot." "Well, that's lovely. Arkyn didn't forget his dear old mother when he went to the human realm." "Of course, I wouldn't forget you, Mom." The older woven woman laughs a hearty laugh, and after a few moments she settles down. "My name is Eskel for officiality's sake. You being the next advisor to the future great chief and all. My Arkyn here has quite the dream, wouldn't you say so?" "Yes, I would. He's told me about some of what he wants to do with the position." Arkyn looks like he's enjoying the two of us talking, and Rolf and Eric are just chowing down the breakfast before them. I look at the spread and I'm immediately blown away. "Breakfast is a traditional fry-up with bacon, eggs, sausage, baked beans, fried tomatoes, fried mushrooms, black pudding, toasted bread, and oatcakes with haggis." Sounds like a very English breakfast. Sounds good, though. Maybe aside from the blood cakes, I've never tried those, and I'm a little hesitant to. Because it's basically just like congealed fried blood. "My boys are growing and have having a special guest like you is always an easy excuse for a good first meal of the day." I know what most of this is, but when I get to the tennis ball-sized gray orbs of meatiness, I am confused. Is that haggis? I've never had it before, so I'm not sure what to expect. "Oh, it's amazing. The filling inside is what you eat. You break open the casing and scoop it out." I smile and take a bit of the haggis. I also plate up some eggs, bacon, beans, and a few other things. I mean, it makes sense that they eat that. They're wolves. Eating incredibly nutrient-rich parts of animals. With Arkyn watching, I break open the haggis casing and scoop up some of the filling onto a slice of oat bread. Well, here goes nothing. I partake of the haggis and oat bread combination, and it's sublime. After chewing and swallowing the salty, savory oat pudding, I smile. "I'm gonna have to eat that more often. It's delicious." "Yes, it's one of Arkyn's favorites. It's a bit wasted on me, but he insisted we have it when he came back with you." "Mom? When you came back with me, were you that confident?" "Well, His face sombers up, and I feel something in my chest tug. "I was just hopeful. I needed to be the one who found you, Fynn. I'm happy that I did." I feel the tug again, as though the fey creatures Bjorn mentioned before were plucking upon my heartstrings. I'm happy that you did, too. We eat our breakfast in relative peace, and it isn't until we're finishing up that Rolf speaks up again. I want to ride with Fynn and Arkyn. Can I please? What? No love for your other brother? You wound me. You can ride with Mama. Rolf, buddy, I kind of need to ride with Fynn alone. Eric and Mom will keep you company, but we need to talk about the trial, and I need to get Fynn prepared. I'm confused, but I don't speak up yet. Rolf, you can ride with Arkyn and Fynn on the ride back, alright, dearie? Now behave and go finish your chores. Let us handle cleaning up in here. Yes, Mama. Rolf sadly leaves the now Rolfless table and goes sadly to do his unspecified chores of sadness. I decided to make sure he actually comes with us when we return. I feel guilty now. Where are we riding? To the trials? We'll leave in about an hour, and it'll take a few more hours to get there. We're the farthest of the candidates from the meeting spots. We're leaving earlier than necessary to make sure we get there at an appropriate time. Oh, that reminds me. Eric, dearie, could you run some parcels down to the villagers for me? I've labeled them all. Arkyn, I heard you've already brought fresh water to the sickly villagers, and that a mysterious human was helping you. So this is the last errand we need to finish for the day. Yes, Mom. I'll clean up here, Fynn. Why don't you accompany him? It would give you a chance to get to know one another better. Oh, sure, I wouldn't mind. Yes, that would be all right. I smile at Eric and stand up with him. As we head to the door, Eskel comes up to me with a tisk-tisk and grabs a woolly jacket off the nearby coat hanger. I chuckle as I realize it is a bit chilly outside and gratefully accept the jacket as Eskel offers it. Thank you. I am without my own for the time being, so this is very kind of you, and very much appreciated as well. Eskel smiles, and after waving us off, Eric and I head off to deliver letters. Eric and I are walking back to his house from the center of the village, past the well where I met Rolf. It's been an awkwardly silent foray there, and now back, but I decided to strike up some conversation. Ah! He jumps back in surprise. I feel guilty for a second before chuckling. I guess he got scared by me talking suddenly. It was pretty calm for a few minutes after all. Sorry, I forgot you were next to me. I was in the world of my own. That's all right. I'm sorry I startled you. That's okay. You were asking something, Fynn. Yeah, sorta. Well, I was gonna ask you to tell me about yourself. Eric looks concerned. His expression lightens. What would you like to know about me? Well, for starters, how are things between you and your brothers? You all seem to get along so nicely. Yes, we do. Arkyn keeps the two of us from getting into trouble, and he always picks up the slack if Rolf and I are feeling unfit to help. Sometimes I worry he's taking too much on. I get worried about that too, actually. Like, this morning, he was practically ignoring his own feelings to try to help the villagers. What's all that about? Well, Arkyn has a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He has to bear the wishes and hopes of everyone in the village, and Rolf and I aren't good enough to be able to help him with that often as we could. Oh, hopefully he can rely on others a bit more. It's heartbreaking to see him struggling to do enough for others. Eric nods. Even if you end up choosing another wolf giant to be the great chief, please, Fynn, find a way to help Arkyn out. I nod and pat Eric on the shoulder. Of course I will. Eric and I, now finish delivering the parcels, head back toward the cozy, warm home. Soon we'll be departing in carriages for the meeting site. A crisp autumn breeze hits my shoulders and the back of my neck as I watch Arkyn climb into the carriage. Closing the small door on the side, he sits next to me. He is a mere 2 feet away, yet it feels like we're on opposite sides of the road. Things have been a bit awkward between us for the last hour as we waited for the carriage to arrive. I think it's about the small spat we had in his bedroom, but I'm too anxious to ask. I'd rather focus on what's coming up, the trial. Whatever it may be, I need to be mentally prepared. Maybe asking Arkyn about it will help. The others will be in the carriage behind us, and we're set to depart now. Arkyn nods to the driver, an older wolf giant with a pretty adorable top hat and fancy riding suit. The driver nods in return, and, after a shout from him and the sound of the reins, we take off. It's been a few minutes now of us just riding in silence. Arkyn is sitting with an arm rested on the side of the carriage as it gently rocks a bit here and there. His eyes are closed, and he's just leaning into his hand, resting his head as the breeze flows by. He mentioned needing to talk to me about the trial earlier, but we've just been quiet. I don't want him to be the one to break the ice with some topic I'm not prepared for, so I speak up. So, what do you know about the trial? Anything you're allowed to share? Arkyn exhales and tilts his head a bit toward me, shrugging. I'm allowed to tell you everything I know, as it turns out. This isn't actually much of a secret, as it's been planned for a bit. You'll be facing 3 challenges, the first of which is a test to see if you're capable of using the powers of a finder. That's not too hard, I suppose. I can see you all for what you are, I mean. Arkyn shakes his head and lifts his arm off the side of the carriage to turn toward me. No, Fynn, not your passive power, your active one. They'll test your ability to glean the intentions of someone, or something. Huh, how'll they do that? There are a few ways I can think of. The majority of them involve magical artifacts, so probably a test to see if you can find which object can perform something specific. Wait, I can do that? Arkyn stretches. Ugh. Well, I don't think so. But if someone knows what the object is capable of, they need to focus their intentions on using it. So maybe they'll have you glean the nature of someone's intentions that way. That's actually helpful. I hadn't thought of it before, but I suppose there could be some utility in just knowing what someone intends to do. Arkyn, once again, is much more insightful than he seems to want to let on. I don't know what the other surprises he's hiding are, but I suppose I can let him keep his secrets for now. Fynn, you look spaced out. Oh, sorry. I chuckle and Arkyn scoots a bit closer. I feel butterflies in my stomach as I watch him spread his legs and lean back, his arms resting behind his head. I'm gonna nap for a little bit. We have about an hour until we reach the Skull Castle village. Do you need to ask anything else, Fynn? Of course I do. You said there were 3... Ugh, great, good talk. You'll be fine. I said yes, though. Arkyn is snoring within several moments. I sigh. Well, I guess there's an hour to kill. I sigh again and look at the space between us. Only a foot. He scooted halfway to me. I shouldn't be upset with him for not telling me about my status here, should I? I mean, of course I should. That's a lot of power for someone who knows practically nothing about how to properly utilize it. Still, I get the idea that he just didn't want to stress me out. I can't see him maliciously hiding it from me on purpose. Arkyn hasn't been like that once since I met him. Sure, he acted more dense to a few things than he really was. He's hidden his real emotions behind a facade. He didn't seem to think about the drawbacks of using magic the way his people had been until I mentioned something. Those things weren't malicious, though. I can't judge him for minimizing how serious his people's problem was to avoid having a pity party. I can't judge him for not feeling like he could share how he really feels about the weight of his burdens with me after less than a week. You know? Alright, y'all, last 2 minutes. Arkyn. I chuckle. Man, I can't be mad at this guy. I scoot the remaining foot toward him, closing the gap. I move to lean back and rest my head on my hands like Arkyn, but I feel something move around my shoulder first. I look to see Arkyn's hand holding my shoulder. He's still snoring, and when I look toward him, he's resting with one arm behind his head. Did the other arm just fall into my shoulder, or... I decide the answer isn't too important. He's warm. I lean into him and close my eyes. Fynn, we're nearly there now. I snap awake and feel myself being steadied in place. Whoa there, Jumpy. It's okay. I've got you. Arkyn, sorry. For? He smirks down at me and gives me a questioning glance, raised eyebrow and all. For falling asleep on you. For snapping earlier. I'm just sorry. Fynn, come on now. You don't need to apologize for those things. I should have told you sooner. I was going to, but when you had your panic attack in the rooftop garden, I remembered how Eric gets with big things like that, and... Well, I should have trusted you how to handle it. I'm sorry for not having faith in you. I won't doubt you again. Oh, he apologized. I wasn't even upset for the reasons he feels bad for. Now I feel bad for him feeling bad for it. Before I can apologize further, he chuckles again. I feel the same hand that's been around me this whole time gently shaking my shoulder. Don't apologize for falling asleep on me either. How else am I going to make up for not letting you wake up in my arms this morning? Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate the support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silvermoon. Thank you for going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you to our gold tier patron, Amr. You're awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to our ultimate tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to not safe for work content as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!